Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be why expecting sex too soon leads to ghosting. So, this particular emailer, I kind of got the feeling he's a cherry picker. And just because he had a second date with a 30-year-old female nurse, ended up back at her place fooling around, but they didn't have sex because he says she was too drunk, so they just kind of spooned. And so the date, I guess, was on a Friday. So 2 days later, on Sunday, he invites her for a barbecue at his place the next day. And she said she'd let him know. And then she never got back to him. And so it's been a couple of weeks. And his plan was to not reach out at all. Again, this is why it looks like he's a cherry picker. So part of the problem is that a lot of guys think like this because us guys were focused on one thing, which is getting laid. And so he's thinking, well, we almost had sex in the second date, and if she hadn't been so drunk, we probably would have. So let me make the next date at my house. She'll come over, and we'll just pick right up where we left off. And the formula is hang out, have fun while you're hanging out, and when the signs are there that she's ready to be kissed, ready to be touched, ready to be seduced, then you make your move. Use 2 steps forward, 1 step back that I mentioned, and 3% man, because women got to feel safe and comfortable with you in order to give it up, in essence. And you have to kind of go at their pace. Then you have to stop when they want you to stop and back up and take another run at it a little while later. And so if he's a cherry picker, hasn't really read the book, it looks like, because women aren't stupid. I mean, she's 30 years old, and she's told him that she had a party phase. She used to do cocaine and stuff like that. So it's not her first rodeo either. And then on top of that, she's a nurse. And nurses are like one of the top 5 professions where women cheat and are disloyal. That's something to keep in mind. So again, she's not some innocent little flower, but she knows what he's trying to do. When you haven't had a woman to your house and you haven't already had sex there, and then you just invite her over, he's like already kind of trying to treat her like a booty call. And so she can tell the fact that he's inviting her over for a barbecue, oh, he's thinking we're just going to have sex. Because now he's like not even willing to go out on a date. He's like, I'll just have her come over and we'll just hook up. We'll just pick up where we left off in the second date. Which, that's not how you do things. But it is a good email to go through because we can clean up this behavior and he could potentially get another chance. But if a woman's interest isn't super high in you and you do this, you're often just going to get ghosted or blown off, or she gets turned off and she won't even reply in the future. So he says, hi, Corey. Thanks for all the work you do. Your material has helped me sharpen my masculine frame. So it tells me he's in the red pill stuff. Attract higher quality women and eliminate a lot of uncertainty in dating. I'm writing because I've been applying your principles to a recent situation, but I'm at a point where I'm second guessing whether silence is the best move. Well, typically what I talk about in the book is you ask twice. She says no, or oh, I can't make it. But the other thing is the way he went about asking her for the second date, he offered a day instead of, hey, what's your schedule like? When are you free to get together? And if she hasn't already been to your house and you haven't already hooked up, I wouldn't be inviting a woman over to your house to make dinner on the second date, or the third date for that matter. Because when you try to make a date like that, oh, he wants me at his house, oh, he's trying to get laid. Women aren't stupid. You're not being clever. You're not being mysterious. They know exactly what you're up to. It doesn't mean you can't ever do this, but this woman clearly, her interest is not as high as this guy was. If her interest was super high and they were really into each other, maybe he could have done it. But personally, I would have gone out on a third date and then later ended up back at my place. So, back to our email here. He says, I had a second date with a woman on Friday, May 2nd. She's stunning, one of the most beautiful women I've dated. 30 years old, works as a private nurse, owns her home, is fit, feminine, and seems emotionally warm. She lives a health-conscious lifestyle, drinks mushroom tonics. I didn't know that was a thing, mushroom tonics. And keeps over 40 plants at her home. What an odd thing to notice. Hey, I counted all of her plants and there's 40 of them. Who does that? She mentioned having lived her party years, so she's probably very familiar with Chad Thundercock, Bob Thundercock, Tyrone Thundercock, Chad Thundercock, including past cocaine use. I'm not judging, just giving the full picture. Well, that information, the fact she has 40 plants at home, that was really important information, so thanks for the detail. The second date went great. Strong chemistry, lots of laughter, physical playfulness. We made out like crazy several times. We ended up at her place, but was too drunk to go further. She drank way too much, so we just spooned and cuddled. The next morning we kissed. She offered me food and coffee at her place, and I drove her to pick up her car. It felt connected and comfortable. 2 days later, on Sunday, I invited her to a barbecue dinner at my place the next day. Again, I wouldn't have done that. I probably would have, again, if you go out on a date on a Friday night and you're already asking her out for a second date on a Sunday, that's pretty quickly. I would have taken a little more time, spread it out a little bit. Maybe around Tuesday, Wednesday, I would have reached out because you're trying to go slower than she is. But when you're that quickly trying to make the next date and then you're inviting her right over to your house, she's thinking, he just wants to get my pants. That's all he cares about. Because she's probably done that when she was younger and then she never hears from the guy again. And so, again, you're not the first dude to try this. So you got to be a little smoother. And so she answered calmly, okay, I have an appointment at the hospital. I'll keep you posted on how I feel after. To which I replied, I'm not a fan of this response either. Okay, if you feel like having a smooth evening, you know where to find me. No pressure. Don't say no pressure in a text. Because that is like an apology. Don't apologize for your interest. She liked the message and never followed up. I mean, the fact that she didn't reply to it or never got back to him just shows she knew what he was up to. She didn't counter with a different day. Oh, hey, I can't maybe. It's just like, So it wasn't really a definite date with a definite day, definite time, definite place to get together. It was like, hey, if you got nothing else going on, it'd be great to come over for a barbecue. So that is, he's kind of straying from the book because especially in the beginning, you got to be direct, you got to be decisive, you got to get to the point, make a definite date. Because you basically said, I'm going to sit at home and I'm going to wait for you to maybe accept my date. And so you accepted a maybe date, which is, again, that's not what the book says, but I don't think he actually read the book. I think he's just trying to cherry pick videos because, again, he's got a one-track mind. He's trying to find the quickest way to get in her pants. He doesn't care about all the other little things. He says, so that was Monday, May 5th, and I made 0 moves since then. Friday, May 9th, I saw her at the gym. She came to say hi, asked why I wasn't on my project work site. I stayed light and polite, and later during that same session, another guy approached and invited her out. She seemed receptive. Well, if she comes by to say hi, I would have been like, hey, you. It was like, what have you been up to? How's work been? How's the week been? It's like, I'd love to see you again. What's your schedule like? And I would have made a date on the spot. But instead, it sounds like he kind of acted like a statue. And then some other dude asked her out. And then maybe he's going out with her. So now it's Monday, May 12th. It's been 7 days of silence since that message and 9 days since our last date. I followed your principle. Make one clear invitation, then step back and let her come to me. It's like, no, dude. You haven't read the book. This is not how it goes. You're supposed to make a definite date. Not say, hey, well, I'm having a barbecue if you want to come over. I don't know if that means you were having a bunch of people over and you invited her, which would definitely be a mistake. No group dates until she's in love and you're exclusive. Because, again, the way it sounds like he was having a barbecue with a bunch of people over, and so now he's already inviting her over. In essence, treating her like a girlfriend. Or he may have been thinking he was going to have a barbecue, just him and her. He says, here's the dilemma. I don't want a relationship with her, but I would like to see her again and take things further physically. Well, you made that pretty clear by just inviting her straight to your house. Would it be a strategic mistake to send one last playful message and try to reschedule? Again, I say this often. Don't be trying to be cute or crack jokes through text. The phone is for setting dates. That's it. So what you should do is if you haven't heard anything back, I mean, she did come up to you in the gym, but you didn't ask her out. So I would definitely text her and say, hey, you, I want to see you. What's your schedule like? When she tells you, you make a date. And don't invite her over to your place to make dinner together. You're not at that point yet. He says, or should I stick to the principle, assume her interest level is too low, and walk away with my frame intact? Again, I don't know what principle you're talking about, but you're clearly not following the book. The book says to make definite dates, not maybe dates, not to get sloppy. And again, if she approaches you in the gym and you act like a statue and you don't ask her out, and then you watch some other dude ask her out, well, maybe he's beating up her pelvis and you're not. So if I were you, like I said, I'd reach out, ask her when she's free, and make it the next date, and then actually take her out and go to 3 different places. Follow what's actually in the book. You can read it for free at understandingrelationships.com. Just subscribe to the free email newsletter. I would say that her interest isn't super high, and probably the reason she was so frisky is because she was drunk. And then she sobered up, and you just assumed you were just going to pick up right where you left off, invite her over, and then you were going to beat up her pelvis then. That was a mistake. And again, you made a maybe date. You basically told her you're going to sit at home and you hope that she'll come over. And you never heard from her. So that doesn't mean you ever call her again. Because just because you hung out and you tell her to reach out, it's like he's also kind of thinking she's ready to do all the pursuing now. And that's not how it works. The guy is supposed to reach out, try to set 1 date per week, hang out and have fun, hook up. And then what happens typically after you've had sex, usually within 2 to 3 days, a woman reaches out, and then you just use that as an opportunity to set the next date, and then you're kind of going at her pace. And as she starts to do that, and she starts contacting you once or twice a week, then you don't have to reach out anymore. So he's kind of put the cart before the horse, just assumed that she was ready to do all the pursuing, and all he had to do was invite her over, and they could start having sex. And he even said he didn't want a relationship with her. He just wants to fuck her. And so I think he made that pretty clear. Again, I don't know if the barbecue was a party that he was already having and he invited her in a group date, which again, I wouldn't have done that because you only do group dates when she's in love with you and she's your girlfriend, not when you're trying to hook up. But if it was just going to be you and her, again, it's inappropriate at that juncture to invite her to your house when she's never been to your house because she's 30 years old. She knows what you're thinking. She knows you're basically just trying to get into her pants. So that's why she never reached out because, you weren't real smooth about it. And her interest wasn't super high. Now, if she thought you were extremely handsome and her interest was an 8 out of 10, 8 on a scale of 1 to 10, she probably would have come over, but her interest wasn't high enough. So again, I'd make one more attempt to try to get her out. Just say, hey, you, I'd love to see you. What's your schedule like? And wait to hear from her. And then if she tells you, make a date, but don't invite her over to your place. That's just too soon. And again, you got to read the book, dude. Just stop cherry picking. It doesn't work. I say it all the time in videos, and you guys don't listen to me. And then you wonder why you blow good opportunities because you're just not smooth. So if you got a question or challenge and you want to get my help, go to understandingrelationships.com, click the products tab at the top of your screen on any page on my website, and book a coaching session with yours truly. And if you haven't already signed up for our paying members only content, in the video description of this video, there are links to join on YouTube or Spotify or our website, understandingrelationships.com. Click the plans tab when you get there, or the link that's in the video description. And with the website, if you can do a 7-day free trial so you can check out what content you get for your money. And if you choose an annual plan, you get a 25% discount for paying the whole year's premium up front at the end of the 7-day free trial. So until next time, I will talk to you soon.